That's a concept human beings create because of their inherent insecurity about themselves. And this non-existing self, which has such overwhelming power over the so-called ourselves, that is again in the service of feeling. So no feeling, no self. And thereby knowing self, you will know non-self, anatta. And that is the key to enlightenment. You can overcome self-illusion, become a Sotapana. One who has entered the stream directly leading you to Nibbana. You experience the sublime, transcendental state of freedom, where suffering has ceased, dukkha nirodha, in every form. Now, so this feeling about which I have now mentioned, the pursuit of this, will be the subject of the next discourse, because it will require a discussion of the methodology, how to master the feeling, what are the methods by which you can do that. But today, for the purpose of the subject proper, which is dve anta, the two extremes, that is the subject, and I will go through that. I have prepared a little note for that, and I will read it out. And then only we will pursue the other thing, you see, about the feeling. Now, Dhammacakka Pavattana Sutta begins thus, in these words. Dve me bhikkhave anta pappajitena na sevitamma. Katame dve. The translation is, monks, these two extremes should not be resorted to by one who has renounced worldly life. Now, renounced worldly life is not merely monk and the nun, no. Every one of you, in some capacity, you have renounced something. So the word renunciation, you see, is applicable very widely. And in this sutta, that it must be understood that way. Now, for instance, you practice Panchashila. Your third Sila is the third moral precepts which brings about a purification of morality or virtuous conduct. Now, that the third principle is that you renounce, you refrain from indulging in misconduct, sexual misconduct, which means if you are a married person, you are satisfied with your partner and you are not looking on to anybody else. All others are, you see, they have no conjugal relationship with you. And they are just other fellow human beings, and your relationship is that of a brahmachari, a person who is celibate and therefore living a holy life. So, towards the father, towards the mother, towards the brother, towards the sister, etc., you are brahmachari. You are celibate. Towards the neighbor, towards men, towards women, even the whole world, towards everybody except your partner. Towards all those, you have a mind of brahmacharya, the mind of celibacy towards them. If you break that mind, that is where disaster falls. So this word, when the Buddha says, these two extremes should not be resorted to by one who has renounced worldly life, particularly for monks, because he is addressing the monks. But the word renunciation is applicable in a more, let us say, narrow sense or a limited way to everybody. Tatame, which two? Now, then the text says, Yo chayang kamesu kama sukhallikanu yogo hiro gammo pothu januko anaryo anatta sanghito. Yo chayang atta kilivathanu yogo dukkho anaryo anatta sanghito. Anatta sanghito. Ete ko bhikkhave uho ante anupagamma Majjhima patipada tathagatena abhisambuddha Chakhu karani, jnana karani, upasamaya, avinyaya, sambodhaya, nibbanaya sangvattati. Which two, after asking, these two extremes should not be resorted to by one who has renounced worldly life. Which two? Indulgence in sensual pleasures, that is pursuit of pleasure. Indulgence in sensual pleasures, which is base, vulgar, worldly, ignoble, unsalutary. These are the words the Lord has used to describe its negativity, its negative effect on oneself, on one's life. This pursuit of pleasure. And worldly life means our family life. What else? I don't want to dub everybody with the same black paint, but I can tell you this, I have traveled quite widely throughout the world. My observation is, the first thing people get up, they think of eating what today, what is the breakfast. Now they have had a tummy full breakfast. 11 o'clock, again they are hungry. They must eat something, go to the canteen, go to here, go to there, in the university circle where I have happened to be. Something again, some bite, they say. Then again at 12:30, at 1 o'clock or 12, for the monks even early, they must have a tummy full, big meal. Then again at 3 or 4, something again. And in between, the mouth goes on all the time. Drink this, drink that, eat this, eat that. Then again at night. So the whole time eating. And then for the housewife, the same thing. Whether it's an Indian housewife or a Japanese or a Chinese or an American or a German, I've seen the whole lot of them. The same thing, what is going on now, what to cook, what to eat, what to cook, what to eat, that's. Now this, this kind of slavery to eating and feeling, that's all. It's a kind of slavery. So also sex life. Another slavery. And so also in the name of, let us say, you are an artist. You see, your eye becomes a big slave to see all sorts of nice things here and there, to reproduce them or do this with that. And if you happen to be dramatist and all that, all your sound. Now all the six senses are all the time caught up in creating feeling and in thereby creating slavery in the minds of the people. Now, to be out of this slavery, this jail of, feeling. Feeling itself is the tool again. And there are ways of doing it. Wonderful ways indeed. So now, this exercise, indulgence in sense pleasures which is base, vulgar, worldly, ignoble and unsalutary. And the second, an adherence to self-mortification which is painful. He doesn't call it vulgar or base or worldly, but he says it is painful, dukkho. But it is ignoble and unsalutary, spiritually unproductive, dangerous. Monks, the middle path, which does not take recourse to both these extremes and which produces vision, the vision, direct vision of Nibbana, liberation from worldly sufferings, which produces vision of Nibbana, which arouses insight into the ultimate nature of truth and thereby brings about freedom, which leads to peace, the peace of Nibbanic serenity, freedom from all conflict, and which leads to the supermundane, direct experience of enlightenment. So enlightenment is not a matam, not a theory, not a ism. It is an experience, direct experience. It is not just a bundle of siddhanta, intellectual, a kind of explanation of what that must be, that ultimate state. No. In Buddhism, this kind of conceptualization of higher spiritual experiences have no place. You got to experience them. Merely talking about them is not going to make you experience them. No. So it is only by following the middle path, which goes beyond the pursuit of pleasure and pain, and through equanimity, it finds access into the dimension of freedom, the experience of enlightenment. That is Nibbana. And to Nibbana, now this has been discovered by the Tathagata. Literally, the translation is bearer of truth. It's like the torch bearer in the Olympic. You see. So he is the first who discovers, so to say, and he is the first one who goes before. So Lord Buddha, being the discoverer of the whole of the sacred truths, the Four Noble Truths, he is Tathagata, the exalted bearer of ultimate truth. Having discovered it and having made known this to everybody without having this what you call close-fisted attitude of casteism, where only one caste can get everything and the others no. None of that partiality and injustice in the dispensation of the Buddha. So here you can experience Nibbana here and now by following the middle path, by eschewing the two extreme ways, two anta. So that was the subject I wanted to discuss today. This is the text of that portion of the sutta. Now we'll discuss a little bit on this. We'll go on before we close. Now with this declaration of the Buddha on the two extremes as well as the middle path leading directly to liberation. Now this is called the truth enunciation, Satya Vyakaranam. So the enunciation of truth, with this enunciation of truth or Satya Vyakaranam, the Buddha made known his discovery of the Four Noble Truths and set in motion the sublime Dhamma. You see, the sublime Dhamma Chakra, the Dhamma wheel of the Buddha Sasana, the dispensation of the omniscient Buddha. The day he gave this enunciation in the form of the Dhamma Chakra Pavatana Sutta, the moment he started with this Dve me bhikkhave anta, this world is governed by these two extremes. But a higher discovery has been made, that of the middle path, which can go beyond it and therefore you can transcend the world and the sufferings of the world. Nothing can be more hopeful a message. So now he set in motion, he said, setting in motion the wheel of truth. What does it mean? It simply means the wheel of the Buddha Sasana, the dispensation which makes known this truth for ages together. Now Buddha is gone. 2,600 years almost now. Bodily the Buddha is no more there. But the Buddha has two bodies. He has the Dhammakaya and the Rupakaya. The corporeal body, yes, that follows the law of the body, of matter. And the matter decays, any matter. Moment to moment it decays and decomposes. So the Tathagata's body is not there, but the Tathagata's discovery of the truth and his attainment of the omniscient mind, that is functioning full force. That is there in the form of Dhammakaya. And that Dhammakaya is Dhamma itself, the sacred Tipitaka, which the Buddha enunciated in the language of the common man, so that the ordinary common man can understand truth and benefit from truth. Not the so-called elitists, the elite higher caste people, particularly the Brahmin, who deals with the Vedas and the scriptures and all that, the others can't. None of this arbitrary injustice is an unjust way of doing things. For Buddha it is straightforward, everything open, straight. So now, this dispensation of the Buddha opening up the truth, which brings about freedom to everyone, from the highest, sublimest gods of Brahmaloka, to the most downtrodden, living in the huts. You see, these poor, deprived people, now they have got some other fancy name. Each age has its own fancy names. Gandhiji created a fancy name called Harijan. Now somebody else has created another name. And now the last name that I know is Dalit. And nobody is Dalit actually. Yet that is the fancy name now. And after some time some other name will come. So forget name. go into reality, overcome difficulties created by human ignorance and pettiness, and be liberated. That is the message. So now, the two extremes of sensual indulgence and self-mortification. Basically are two mindsets. Now this is an important point I would like to point out, and you please think over. These two extremes, basically they are what? They are mindsets. That is two different mental attitudes which are quite evident in modern times too. Now it will be good to examine the exact definition of the term anta. So let us examine the exact definition, meaning of the term anta. So anta simply means the extreme. And in this context of the sutta, it means a deviant conduct or way of life. A deviation, a moral departure. That is what is extreme. So this extreme is a mental attitude, actually. Pursuit of pleasure is a mental attitude. Pursuit of pain is a mental attitude, based upon feeling. So here the deviant conduct, deviant way of life, that is moral departure from the right path, you see, or the virtuous conduct, sila. So basically it's a deviation from sila, the life of sila. And the middle path starts with sila. Sila, samadhi, panya.